Hey, what's up guys? I want to show you guys a cool light setup that I'm using today. I'm calling this the reverse one light setup. It's not the actual name for it, but it's just the name I'm giving it. So the whole idea of this setup is typically when you're shooting the subject, the light is in front of you or in front of the subject, facing the subject, right? But this time we're putting the light behind the subject and we're trying to create like a silhouette, right? But we're still going to bounce light from the front with a reflector, with this reflector just right here at the side in front of my subject, and that's just going to bounce light back to our subject. So we're also shooting in black and white because that's the look that we're going for. So this is, like I said, a one light setup, a reverse one light setup. Just put the light behind the subject. Also use a big enough modifier. Like for me now, I'm using the, I think this is a 7-foot parabolic umbrella. That's what I'm using with the diffuser stuff on it. The light that I'm shooting with is the Godox AD600 BM. Yes, just the normal AD600, and I'm shooting with my Sony A7R III, the cheap Sony 85mm 1.8 lens, and I have my Godox trigger. Also, I'm shooting my friend Kelvin. He's a photographer too. He's a filmmaker. He's an artist. It's plenty things. So yeah, let's just get on with it and I'll show you guys my camera settings. Please just help me with this. So like I said, I'm shooting with the 85 and this is one of my favorite portrait lenses. And I'll do a video probably later showing you guys most of the portrait lenses that I shoot with. Alright, so I'm going to put this picture on the screen so you guys can see it. Let me take a picture screen. Great, I'm going to put this on the screen. If you guys can, I show you guys through this? No, but I'll just put it on the screen so you guys can see. I just stopped recording. No. Oh, I have to cut that part out. I'm going to put this on the screen so you guys can see. The idea, like I said, is the light is remain our subject from both sides, and we just have like this reflector bouncing the light back at our subject. My camera settings, I'm shooting at f5, my aperture is f5, my shutter speed is 1/160th, and my ISO is ISO 100. And for my light is set to 1/16. Basically, that's what I'm shooting with. So that's it. It's a simple light setup.
Hey guys, sorry for the breaking transmission. I did not think I was actually going to record this shoot, but in the process of doing it, I just thought it was really cool and I wanted to show you guys the light setup. So I just got to recording it. So my battery died, and now we're in post. And I hope you guys can see the settings here. But before we get into this video, do not forget to subscribe. Just join what I'm building right here. I would appreciate it if you can subscribe, give this video a thumbs up. It just lets YouTube know that the content I'm creating is good and YouTube will show it to other people. So yeah, I really appreciate all the support. So let's just get straight into this and I'll show you guys how I edited this so I could get this look right here, or this look right here, or this look. So I've showed you guys the light setup. This is what this looks like. Looks really nice. Let me just explain a few things to you guys. We went with the hat because it was just going to give it like a really nice feel, and the glasses also because the white reflector, because we used the white part of the reflector and we're reflecting this way, it kind of like just made the glasses stand out. So just wanted to share that little information with you guys. So as you guys can see, I shot at f5.6, 1/160th of a second, ISO 100, and I said my light was at 1/16. Yes, 1/16. That was what the output of my light was. So yeah, so the first thing that I did for this, and typically the first thing I typically do for every image, is change my white balance. I can decide at the end of the day that I don't want the image to be black and white, so I just set my white balance to like 6,000 or something around that, yeah, for this image, and I left my tint at 1.32. So yeah, just leave it at 6,000. Now the next thing I did was my levels. So as usual, I pull in my whites just somewhere around here, should be fine for my whites. Then I'm just going to drag in my blacks too, somewhere around here is fine. Then for my highlights, I recovered most of my highlights and just brush some of my shadows up. because obviously I just want to see some part of his skin. I just don't want it to be dark. So yeah, so that's about it. This is all I am actually doing right here in Capture One. I'm not doing more than this. So let's create a new variant. So yeah, guys, this is where we're at before and after, you know, doing our little tweak in Capture One. This is where we're at right now. So this is the before and this is the after. So this image, I'm just going to take this image, edit with Photoshop, because I want to make this image black and white in Photoshop. I just prefer editing in Photoshop, and I'm just going to do a little dodge and burn, but not for skin retouching, right? I just want his physique to stand out, right? So the first thing I'm going to do is create my dodge and burn retouching action. I'm just going to click the action right here. I'm going to delete most of these things. I just need one of my dodge and burn what do you call it, groups. Basically I just need 2 adjustment layers, one for dodge and one for burn. Now I'm just going to pick a white brush, set my flow to 5. Yeah, 5 is fine, and my opacity to 100, and I'm going to dodge this image. What I'm trying to do right now is just make sure that, you know, his muscles stand out or his physique stands out. So I'm just going to dodge some places around his body and just make the light a bit more prominent. So I'm not going to waste a lot of time on this, or make sure this is, you know, overly done. So let's see our before and our after. So now I'm going to come to burn, just burn some places. Like I said, I'm just trying to make his physique stand out a bit more, and that's what dodge and burn will do for you. So let's see our dodge and burn before. So that's our before and that's our after. Before and that's our after. You can see like his physique stands out a lot more than before. Now there's a part here that I can see that will have this. This is from the light. So I'm just going to create a new layer, pick my clone stamp tool, make sure that it's on all layers, and I'll just sample, hold alternate to sample, and just take this out. And I don't have to be super careful here because, you know, this is blown out, so there's nothing I'm really trying to protect there. So yeah, so this is where we're at right now with this image. As you guys can see, let me show you dodge and burn again, before and after. Okay, great. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to create a levels adjustment layer. Levels, and right here on my right I have my whites, and right here on my left I have my blacks. So I'm just going to pull in my whites, and I'm going to pull in my blacks. So as you guys can see, it's just a bit more contrasty, and you can see a little bit more. You can see some parts around his cap or his hat standing out more, right? Okay, great. Now the next thing I'm going to do after that is create a black and white layer, and I'm just going to mess around with the values till I find something that works. Obviously I've done this before, so I'm just going to use the values I used before. -24, the blues -11, and yes, this is somewhere around where I was before. Okay, great. So that's black and white. Those are the values I chose. Just let me explain this a little bit. So for your black, you basically have your reds, which are like your skin tones, and you have your blues, which are probably like the really dark part of your images. So see, my red's down 29 now. If I drag this down, you can see his skin just getting, I don't know, some parts of his skin getting really dark. Then if I drag my yellows down, you can see it's affecting his skin tones too. So I'm just going to put them where they were before. So typically your reds and your yellows will affect your subject skin tones. This is where we're at now. The next thing that I am going to do is create another adjustment layer, and this time I'm going for my brightness and contrast. I'm just going to reduce my brightness so the image stands out a bit more, and I'm going to increase my contrast a little bit. Okay, now some parts of his body right here are like really dark, and I do not want it to be like that. I just want to still see some parts right here. So what I'm going to do is create a curves adjustment layer and just raise some of my shadows up like this. Now I'm going to invert that layer, Command I or Control I on PC. Pick a soft brush. My flow is on 5, and I'll just come down here and paint with white so I can reveal some parts right here. So let's see the before and the after. I still want to see some parts. So some parts of his skin, I just don't want everywhere to be really dark. So let's show you the before and after. So this is how we came into Photoshop, and this is where we're at right now. So what I'm going to do is just Command S. I'll save this, and it's going to go right back to Capture One. And when we get to Capture One, I'll finish my final adjustments. Now this image like this looks really good. It can fly, it can go anywhere. This is really nice, but I just like my images to be a little bit more contrasty. So this is where this image is now. This is where we started. This is our Capture One adjustments, and this is after we've worked on this image in Photoshop. So what I'm just going to do is come to my lumen curve and probably just drag this down and just give it like a nice S curve. And that's about it. So that's about it. I just wanted the image to be a little more or a lot more contrasty. Look at this image, look at this right here, and this is what I was going for. This is the look I was going for. I wanted to be able to see his face, but I wanted the light at the back to be the key light and just, you know, fill it with a reflector in front. And yeah, this is the look. I hope you guys have learned something, a thing or two from this whole Photoshop and this simple and easy editing process. As you guys can see, I didn't do like any skin retouching. You really do not have to do that all the time. This images just look really good. If you can light perfectly sometimes, or if your light looks really good, then sometimes you don't have to do a lot in post. Anyways, thank you for watching today's video. Go hug smash and that like button if you like it. Also comment below, let me know your typical light setup, or you know, if you've tried this light setup out before, or if you try this light setup. And yeah, that's about it. Anyways, thank you so much for watching today's video. I'll see you guys in the next one. Have an amazing weekend ahead of you all. Peace.